Wow. So, for those of you who've been waiting, fortunately, I have technical help. We just did some amazing things off camera. Yeah. Okay. So, live video on Facebook. Amazing things are happening. I have been on here for 4 minutes thinking I was live, totally not live. And guess what? It's not a problem because it's all part of the party. The thing that is so fun is to actually understand that no matter what happens, when you think you're doing something really cool and you're online and you never know what's going to happen. And your mission is, with my reinvention mindset, is to just adapt to change. So we've got things coming in and out. Chuck is moving in and out and giving me the high fives. I've got 3 eyeballs here. That's what I'm used to. Now, when you post things, he's probably going to be coming in and out um, and letting me know. So once again, we are just building this from the ground up. Thank you for being here, wherever you are from, and I'm gonna do something that is a little off the beaten path, and it is I'm just gonna trust you with it. So whether you're here watching me live or whether you're on the replay, I want to ask you to join me in just a moment of light. So we're trying to bring more light to our 2022, and sometimes the light is much more important when there's darkness. So one of my teachers who I love dearly, who has helped me tremendously over the past 2 years and who introduced me to reinvention and reinvention mindset and certified me as a reinvention practitioner, Dr. Nadia Zeksambayeva, is from Kazakhstan. And if you're watching the news at all, which I try not to, the important things will get to me, and this is one of them. There are horrifying things happening in Kazakhstan right now. I don't know all the details, but I do know the history because I do know Dr. Nadia. And I do know that it has been just horrifying. One of the gifts that Dr. Nadia brings to the world is that she was born into a situation of absolute chaos. And her country was gone one morning when they woke up. They had no money, they had no currency for 2 years. And that was when she was a kid. So she's a mother now, she's a leader now, and again in Kazakhstan, challenging things, difficult, horrifying things are happening. And you remember bucket one, bucket two, bucket three? I learned them from her. And this is a bucket one where so much of what's happening is outside of our hands. Bucket two is what I'm using right now because we have a relationship with each other. We're here with each other. And hopefully, I can influence you to take a moment to think about the people in this country. Dr. Nadia and her family, and those Kazakhstan folks who were born in Kazakhstan who live around the world who are not breathing right now, who are holding their breaths and praying. And so I'm going to invite you to join me in just taking a moment. I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to invite you to close your eyes too. And just for 60 seconds, I want you to think about, even if you don't even know where Kazakhstan is, it's right next to Russia. And think about those people and bring all of your light to this moment and all of your prayers. Okay? Let's just take 60 seconds starting right now. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I believe with all my heart that what we do actually has an effect on the planet because we are all connected. So that's not how I thought I was going to start my conversation with you today. But once again, if you are willing to just change at any moment, adapt to what's ever happening, you can get anything accomplished anytime. So, right now, thank you, thank you, thank you for that. And Dr. Nadia, If you see this video, we are all thinking of you and all of my colleagues in the Reinvention, the Global Alliance of Reinvention Professionals. We are all here. So now, thank you for that. Back to those of you who have been joining me since Saturday with bringing more light. Let's see if I can get some comments here. Bringing more light into your 2022. Now, let's see. I'm going to refresh that, see if I get some comments. No idea. So once again, one of the things I've learned from doing this is you just trust that this is going, and whatever happens is whatever happens. So, if you've been watching me, or if you've been watching on the replay since January 1st, I was inspired by my coach who said, you know what impact are you having on the planet? What are you doing to get yourself out there and connect with the people who most need to hear you? And when your coach lights a fire under your behind, then you pretty much get out there. So every Friday, today's the first one, we're going to meet here. I'm hoping that there's going to be comments. And you know what? I'm trusting that whether there are comments or not, Friday's important to always be here at 1 o'clock. And I'm just going to trust that process. This has been pretty amazing to just sort of throw myself into the arms of the universe and go, okay, I'm just going to show up and be 1,000% Maya and trust that it will have an impact on the planet. So first things first, starting on January 1st, all I decided was, you know what? I'm going to jump. So one of the things I invite you to think about is sometimes if you're waffling on what should I do this, or should I not do that? Sometimes the right answer, not always, but a lot of times the right answer is just jump, especially in the world right now because things are changing so quickly. If things aren't working out the way you like them in this moment, trust me, in 15 minutes, something different will happen. So that's what this is about. So on Monday, it was, okay, I can do this. On Tuesday, I started to have a little more fun because on Monday, I was here in my office, which is a wonderful place to be, and the technology of the dashboard and all those things, because as some of you may know, and some of you may have, I have hunter brain. Now, hunter brain is amazing. There are people who call it ADHD. I don't find that very fun or very effective because I don't think it's a disorder. I think it's actually part of my genius, part of my superpower. So hunter brain means I'm always looking for what will be fun in my world. A long time ago, I did a keynote, and one of the pieces of that keynote was that I had hungry nostrils. And when you have hungry nostrils, that means that you are just looking around for, I didn't know at the time, and you're looking around for what? You're looking around for whatever. Because I didn't know at the time that part of the reason that I can smell things at 5,000 feet is because I'm highly sensitive. So I've got ADHD, HSP, and there's lots of letters that people could give you, but frankly, what I find is that those two things are the biggest part of my superpower. And my superpower is adapting to change, because if I don't adapt, it's really hard for me. And if it's really hard for me and not fun, that's not sustainable. And so when I work with my clients, I always invite them to look at, okay, so where is it the most fun for you? Now, there are people in the world who will tell you that, this isn't about fun. You're not supposed to be having fun. You're supposed to work. You're supposed to suffer. Okay. Okay. I find that the people who are drawn to me are the people who are looking for more fun in their lives. And that's what I try to do. And that's what everything I've built is about. So on Wednesday, some of you have seen the Make Change Your Superpower free evergreen course. Today's day 3 of that. So there's lots of things happening in my world that are exciting, and that's fun for me. It's new, it's kind of overwhelming sometimes, but it's good. It's very good. Now, the interesting thing is that if I'm not responding to any comments you may be making, it's because I can't find them. I don't know where they are. So you can count on the fact that if there's something you want to get to me, please put it in the comment section. And Chuck, who is right behind that wall behind me, will make sure that I get that message. Other than that, I think I'm just going to hang out with you for a little while. So what are the most important things I want to leave you with this morning is, number one, you never know what's going to happen from one moment to the next because you can't plan it. And I'm kind of doing that live. Facebook Live. It's terrifying and exhilarating all at the same time. I was a keynote speaker for 30 years. And one of the things that was true for me was it's what I look like. There's the hair and the makeup and the clothes. You got to look good. And when I get out there in front of the audience, what really matters is my connection with the people who were there. So that's what's true for me here. And even though it took me a while to trust that you were there, I can feel you now. I know that you're watching. I've looked at all your comments. I've appreciated everything that you've said all week. People have said things like, your voice just makes me feel better. It's like, that's awesome. So I guess I need to use my voice, because if my voice makes you feel better, there are more people who need to hear my voice. So there's that. Other people have said, you've just brought light to my day, and you've reminded me of things I haven't thought of. Okay, awesome. Thank you for encouraging me, because that means I need to just trust that what's happening in this moment, what comes out of my mouth, is going to help people and is going to be encouraging and light bringing to people. So here we are in this space, and I am making this up in front of you. What I appreciate about that is that that's what the world is calling forth from all of us. We have to just respond in the moment to things that are happening. It's not like we can plan. Like maybe 10 years ago, we might have been able to plan. Maybe we might have been able to say, well, here's what my week is going to be like, and there's not a lot of things that are changing. But as the years have passed, and I would say within the last 10 years, and certainly within the last 5, um, people just are gobsmacked by the things that are happening that they don't expect. And so, in a world where things are happening over and over, minute by minute, especially if you watch the news, you're assaulted with things that are happening that make you just want to go, so how do you maneuver? How do you stay centered? How do you stay grounded? If you're working from home and you've got kids and your kids aren't in school and you're trying to work, and people are just, it's 2 years, it's over 2 years, and so things are getting really hard. And that's what makes me so proud to know about and use this system that I've created called Simple Shifts. And Simple Shifts is just understanding that if you feel like crap, it's an unconscious trap. And for those of you who are thinking to yourself, wow, what the heck is an unconscious trap? I never heard of that before. Well, you didn't, because I made it up. So an unconscious trap is my word for those outdated thoughts, beliefs, and behaviors that stop you and hold you back from moving forward. They're the things that make you go. The other thing that's important to know is that when you have that phrase, which just makes me smile every time I say it because it helps me all the time, I find myself in a situation where I'm thinking, and I realize I'm feeling like crap, so it's an unconscious trap. It snaps me right out. And so the antidote to an unconscious trap is A, catch yourself feeling like crap. And then the first thing you do is you just take a breath. Just give yourself the chance to catch your breath. Because when you're breathing, you're smarter. I know, it's crazy, right? The thing that helps me all the time is that you remember I told you early that I started my career as a 17-year-old runaway with there's 7 insights. There's 2 comments. There's 5 reactions. There's 1 share. Oh my God. I'm feeling you. And there's 7 of you here. So thank you. Thank you for knowing that I feel you and I can't see you. Maybe by next Friday I'll have the pieces where it just streams and we'll get this going. And so the unconscious trap piece is it just stops you and holds you back. And your body is, I tell people that your body is like your Geiger counter. If you feel like crap, it's an unconscious trap, and your body will tell you because you are always aware. Most people are almost always aware of their feelings, even if they don't know what those feelings are and they can't articulate them. They pretty much get it when they feel like crap, right? Now, if you feel like crap all the time, that was me in my early life, felt like crap all the time. I didn't notice that I was feeling like crap because that was my normal feeling. What I noticed is when I didn't feel like crap, that was a surprise. So our feelings and paying attention to them is the heart of the work I've been doing for 40 years. It's the heart of what saved me when COVID tanked my business, just like that. And I'm not the only one, but that's my own experience, which I'm the most aware of. And so understanding that when I feel like crap, it's an unconscious trap, and I have a choice to breathe, because when I breathe, then I can do the one thing that has helped me, and that is shift for one thing. I call it a simple shift. And a simple shift to reinvent, which just means do one small thing. So the first small thing is breathe. The second small thing is to think, okay, well, what would I rather have? Here's what I have. Okay, I get it. What would I rather have? And I love that question because what would I rather have has brought me from feeling really crappy most of the time to creating, say, a 32-year-old relationship with the love of my life, my third and final husband. So it's not like I got it right the first time. I didn't. Um, a business that I love, a thriving business that wakes me up every morning. And I am the person who never thought she'd be online. Let me just tell you, 20 years ago, I was training trainers and I was learning courses to teach trainers to be better at their work. And one of the things that my company that I was working with uh, wanted me to do was to learn online course design. No, I don't want to go online. I need to see you. I need to have you in the room with me. And yeah, guess what? COVID proved to me that I will be online. I wish I would have paid attention 20 years ago, but I didn't. So there are probably things in your life where you're thinking, oh, I wish I would have, and you didn't. And that's what brought you here. And that reminds me of one of the one of my great teachers. His name is he's right behind me, Bruce Schneider. He is the person who started my second coaching school, and he wrote a book called Energy Leadership. And one of the things I learned in my training as a coach was the instructor asked the question, so who in here has made a bad decision? Of course, everybody raised their hand. My hand is way up like that. So who's made a bad decision? Okay. And so that's question number one. Question number two is, at the time, did you think it was a bad decision? And everybody, no, of course not. It was the best decision we could make in that moment. Other shoe drops. So you thinking that you made a bad decision is simply you looking at your past and judging your past from what you know in your present. How useful is that? Not very useful. We all do it all the time. That's where regret comes from. That's where beating ourselves up, I call it rope-a-dope. Rope-a-dope is, remember, many of you probably remember Muhammad Ali, and he had this move called rope-a-dope, and he would just push the person up against the ropes and then just kind of go like this to their head. We do that to ourselves. That's what I call rope-a-dope. And that is when you're beating yourself up about what you didn't do or what you should have done or what you wished you had done or, what should have happened. So I used to do that all the time. So, of course, the help that I got with my coaches and my early therapists was to help me actually pay attention to what I was doing. And so my work now is to help you pay attention to what you're doing because self-awareness is like your superpower. And a lot of folks are so busy focused on what's out there. What should I be doing? What do I need to do? Who do I need to please? What jobs do I need to be doing? So there's so much less room for life in here because we're looking out there in an industrial world that's about ideas and about tasks and it's quick and it's facts. And do you know, I don't know the answer to this question, but do you know when they stopped saying a person who and a thing that? Like all of a sudden now, everything I'm reading, it's a person that. Wait a minute, it's a person who. Where's our humanity? It's a thing that, because it's an inanimate object. But in a world where we have collapsed the idea of an inanimate object with a human, wow. Time for more life on the planet. Time for something that's called biomimicry, something else I learned in my certification training for reinvention. So what is biomimicry? I think I've written this somewhere or maybe said this somewhere, so I'm just going to offer it to you in this moment because this is sort of like a stream of consciousness, what's going on in my brain right now. So biomimicry is the science of looking at nature and seeing how it works, and then looking back at humans to see how we can adapt what we seem to have lost, which is the idea of what's natural, what's real, what's connected to more life. So more life in the universe. I mean, this is funny. We had a raccoon at our house yesterday. Now, it wasn't in our house, she was at our house. And you can see, I'm just going to show you right here. There's windows right there. So there's a window beside me and there's a window in front of me. And so I see outside all the time. So here's this creature outside my window. And oh, by the way, we are halfway down in this house. So the ground is right outside my window. Big, beautiful raccoon is running around the outside perimeter of our house, banging on the window, checking it 5 times. So, of course, we were working on details because our launch was Wednesday, and we're working on updating the website and doing technical details before we have a big job that starts on Saturday. And it just made us laugh. Like, this raccoon has no idea of what she's supposed to be doing or should be doing, or has no care for what anybody thinks of her, has no concern for what's going to happen this evening or tomorrow, just in the moment. And so it made us laugh because she was so cute. I think that Chuck probably posted the picture on Facebook, but if he didn't, I will post it on this thread for this. More life just outside our windows. More life right in front of us. Trees right out in front of us. And yet, so many of us spend our time looking at our computer and checking our email and doing our FaceTime things and checking all the pieces, and we forget that life's right out there. So, my stream of consciousness. The thing that's funny is I'm 100% Irish. There is a book that an Irishman named James Joyce wrote, I think in the 1920s. And of course, my literary sister will tell me exactly when that is. The book is called Ulysses. The thing is like this fat. And it is just stream of consciousness, like not even, I think it's one big run-on sentence. And so sometimes I think that's how my brain works. The thing that I appreciate about that right now is that this is my genius. There are things about you that are just natural to you, that are just the way you are when nobody's looking. They are your genius. The people who love you notice them, enjoy them, tell you about them. And most people, and I was included in this for years, are simply not aware of how awesome their genius is and how much life their being them, bringing that life, bringing that light to the planet actually adds to the wondrousness of the world. Now, I've had folks tell me, especially folks in the corporate world where I spend a lot of time training trainers and working with leaders, there are places where you're really not supposed to have fun. And I have been told, Maya, you need to bring that down. I didn't stay there for very long. You need to bring that enthusiasm and energy down a little because, it's not appropriate for a business setting. I think COVID knocked that idea on its butt. I think, and people are telling me that this is true for them because they are drawn to what I'm doing. This is a time when the most fun, the most joy, the most peace, the most grace, the most light is critical for our ability to thrive in what's happening. When you look at what's happening around the world, I said this earlier, if we all felt happy and peaceful and graceful, there would be no war. Imagine if the leaders of countries were not afraid of what other countries were doing. We're not concerned that they would lose something that they value and hold on tight to it. When we hold on tight to anything, and I said that to myself because I hold on tight to things too until I realize I'm feeling like crap in this moment and I need to breathe and shift. When we hold on to anything, we're not breathing. There's no life. And so what I've learned in the past 2 years, and I didn't say it was all fun because it wasn't, but what I've learned and what I believe with all my heart and what I'm hoping to spread around the world is that when we let go of the things we think are so important that we just have to have them, if we let go and find that we take a breath we find that some of those things that used to be so important to us are no longer relevant in the world we live in because everything is changing so quickly. I tried to hold on so hard to being live with folks. So hard because I want to be in the room with you. I want to be in the classroom with you. I want an audience of 1,800. That's the biggest audience I've ever spoken to. And so exciting. So 500 people in a room, 1,800 people in a room, 1,000 people, anybody in the room. There's a feeling about it. There's a connection about it that's so amazing. I had to let go of that. And you know that old thing, they'll take the whatever out of my cold, dead fingers? Yeah. They will be cold. They will be dead. There will be no life in them. So just let go. Let go now. The things that are meant to be yours are right here. When you stop holding really, really tight to the things you think you have to have, those things that you're meant to have, those things that you are, those things that are part of your life are right here for you. It's a whole lot better way to live your life. Now, that's just my opinion. That's just my experience. Um, Once again, it's my bucket three. That's what life is like in my world. And so I leave these thoughts with you because I have an idea that just like other people have inspired me, something I say here, and I have no idea what it is, something I say here is going to inspire you like it has for the past 6 days. And when all of us are inspired, then that increases our ability to be 1,000% ourselves. And that increases our ability to inspire other people. Like, I don't spend my life doing things to inspire people. I spend my life trying to be the most real, the most authentic, the most happy, the most, I want to say productive, but it's true. I care about productive. Like I care about productive. It's true for me. And so when I get on here and I'm just 1,000% Maya, you get what's in my head. You get what's true for me. And if I can model that it's okay and safe and powerful to say what's true for you and let people see it and let them decide whether they want it or not. It's not your job. It's not my job to make sure that you like this or whatever. And that 10 years ago, I don't think I could have said that. But what COVID has taught me is that it's only my job to be as authentic and real and whole and successful and happy and joyful as I can possibly be. That's my job. And since that's bucket three, I can do something about that. Whoever is drawn to that, that's amazing. And whoever is not drawn to that will be drawn to something else that suits them better. So there's something for all of us in this world. And when we know who we are and we're prepared to be who we are, then those things that we're drawn to just show up and are real for us. So that's 28 minutes of stream of consciousness. Oh my goodness. So I will leave you with this one thought. Well, there's probably more than one thought. Yes, Maya, hunter brain, more than one thought. Okay, let's see if we can make this three. First thought is, what I leave you with is, I invite you with all of my heart to be as real as you can be in every moment. And let it be okay. Let it be normal, perfect, and wonderful that you're just you. Because there's nobody else like you. The second thing is, I'm going to invite you to find yourself feeling like crap. Totally normal, totally perfect, nothing wrong with you. All that means is that there is an outdated thought, belief, or behavior that's holding you back or stopping you. And that's just your body's way of saying, psst, come here, we need to change something. And then that sets you up for change, which is awesome. And the third thing is that no matter what you do, whether you fall down, whether you're imperfect, whether you feel less than, no matter what you do, you are always doing it perfect. And here's why. This was a hard one for me, so let me say, here's why. Every single thing you do leads you to the next place that you are. And every place you are, I know this sounds crazy, but trust me, leads you to the next place. Sometimes you have to fall down. Sometimes you have to lose. Sometimes you have to feel ignorant or inexperienced. Sometimes you have to make a flaming mistake. I have a colleague in reinvention. She calls it an epic fail. Sometimes you have to have an epic fail. Like my first two marriages, epic fails. To get my third, nirvana on earth. And so when you're in that thing that you're doing, it's the best you can do in that moment. And like I learned in my coaching school, when you look back on it, you look back on it with everything you've learned because of what you did. And so you're smarter, stronger, braver, all those things, more full of more light and more life because you do the things you do. Understanding that pretty much allowed me to just relax. Like it doesn't matter. What matters is that we show up. What matters is that we are as real as we can be. We love as much as we can. We look for joy as much as we can. And we are as helpful as we can be, as kind as we can be in that moment. To allow for the times when we're not helpful, we're not kind, we're not joyful, we're not happy, we're not whatever. So, we do as much as we can. We do the best we can. And we do it with each other. So thank you so much for spending this time with me. I appreciate you more than I could tell you because, frankly, I'm making this up right now. I'm making this up in this moment because I trust that if I just be real and do it over time, like for this whole month, something amazing will happen for all of us. I don't know what it is. I don't know how it's going to work, but I trust the process. So I invite you to join me in trusting the process. Just be who you are right now. It's enough. It's perfect. It's awesome. And I'll be back tomorrow. I'm Maya Beatty, and I'll see you next time.